One cold autumn evening on the Farquhar branch line, Thomas and Toby were settling down in the sheds when Percy popped in. "What is a troll?" he asked. "Trolls are huge green monsters that live by bridges, and usually won't let people pass over them," answered Toby. "Why do you ask?"
"Well, earlier this afternoon," Percy began, "I heard a man say, 'I thought I found a match while looking for an on-the-line date on Tinder, but it turned out to be a troll. I don't know what all that means, but it doesn't sound good.'"
Toby was puzzled. "Trolls? On Sodor? How can that be?" "Search me," replied Thomas. Then he looked to Percy. "But be careful, they might get you." The next morning, Sir Topham Hatt came to the sheds. "Thomas and Toby, you will do your usual jobs. And Percy, you will be the banker for the Flying Kipper tonight."
"Me? But what about my mail trains? What happened to Duck?"
"I'm afraid Duck had derailed while taking a goods train to Vicarstown last night, and I shall have Thomas pull your mail trains." With that, he got in his car and drove away. "Watch out for the trolls," teased Thomas, as he and Toby rolled out of the sheds. The rest of the day went as normal. Even the run with the Flying Kipper was accident free, and ended up being 10 minutes early. After their work was done, both Henry and Percy puffed into the yard for a rest. They were enjoying themselves enormously, until... "Oh no."
"What?" replied Percy. "It's just an owl."
"Yes, but every time an owl hoots," said Henry, remembering his own experience, "the mist rolls in."
"Pah!" snorted Percy. "You're just a scaredy engine."
"No, really. Edward told me the same thing years ago, and he was right." But before Percy could reply, his driver walked up. "Come on, Percy. It's time to go home now. We might even be able to pull a few mail trains if we're early enough." This made Percy excited, and he and his crew left the yard immediately. As Percy was puffing home on the main line, however, a fog came about. Unbeknownst to everyone, something had strayed onto the line. It wasn't long before Percy reached the viaduct, and before him was a very large and strange creature on all fours. Suddenly, it noticed Percy, turned around, and stood on its hind legs. Percy gulped. Then, the big creature let out a mighty roar. "Yikes!" screamed Percy, as he puffed backwards as fast as his wheels would let him. He was able to outrun the beast, but he didn't stop until he reached the next station, where he had stayed that night. Next morning, Percy came home to the sheds, where Thomas was taking on water. Thomas noticed Percy was shaking, and felt sorry for the little green engine. "I'm sorry I teased you," Thomas apologized. "I didn't think you'd actually run into something scary." "That's all right," Percy stuttered. "But what was that thing on the viaduct?" "Station master got a phone call and was told it was a bear. It must have gotten out of the woods and strayed onto the line." "Well then, I guess there are no trolls on this island after all." "I hope Percy's right. Don't you?"